Hello and welcome to the Cyber1 YouTube channel. My name is Ray, and in this video we're looking at the Cyber1 Robo hat part 16, and in this video I'm looking at the MPU6050. Okay, so on this one I've run into a fairly substantial issue. If I pull this top hat off, we have buried down here this small chip, which is the MPU6050, and at the moment that's the core of my inertial measurement unit component of the Robo hat. Basically the idea behind that one, and I can start this demo program running, is it tells me when the board is rotating and essentially which way the acceleration force is. Now, at a rest on a board table like it is now, the acceleration should be in the z-axis by 1g, and the x and the y should be 0. And I've got that by, and I'm just going to stop this for a moment, fooling the system by adjusting the output. So I've actually had it read in the error or what it's currently reading when it's stationary, and subtracting that from my raw data before displaying it. If I change this and put a hash in here and we rerun the program, what we get is what it's actually seeing. So at the moment it's currently telling me I have a 1.6g acceleration in the z-axis. This should be 1g or thereabouts, 9.8 meters per second. And what we have in the x and y should both be 0. And if I rotate this, you should see it changing where our 1g is. It's actually acting better than it's been acting. I did change out chips just to confirm the issue, and all three boards have got errors on them. This is actually the one with the least number of errors on it. On two of the other boards I've got X is reading 2G all the time, and the other one Y is reading 2G. Before I changed the chip out on this one, it was actually Z was reading 2G all the time, and you can see it's up fairly high now. The other one is this board is not rotating, so there should be no acceleration in the rotational axis. So there should be no roll, pitch or yaw, but as you can see I am getting a fair bit of roll, pitch and yaw acceleration. When I eventually did get it to do a self-test on the MPU6050, all of the ones I've tried so far have failed. So what I'm thinking is the batch of MPU6050s I've got are a batch of seconds and have failed their self-calibration testing or self-diagnostic testing, and so they were basically sold cheap online. When I just tried to find these from a reputable supplier, I found that they are no longer listed as available. They are listed as obsolete and you can't buy them anymore. I did try, 3 or 4 of the more common reputable suppliers, DigiKey, Element 14, RS Parts and Element 14. So I actually posted a message to my patrons and to my YouTube members pointing out this little error and looking at where I go next, and Go Lucky responded back and suggested I try another chip. In this case he suggested the ICM-42670-P, and when looking at that chip it does pretty much everything this one does, but it's in a smaller package. So I'm just going to bring up the new schematic diagram. I thought I was going to bring it up. Here we go. So this is where the MPU6050 was. I've now pulled that out and I've got the ICM-42670P in its place. Since I was making changes to the board, I thought I'll go ahead and make a few more changes. So I've changed the header here. I've added a couple more pins. I'm going to use the same type as I'm using for the servos, so 3 rows by 4. It now has the TTL RX and TTL TX for the serial, so that's now broken out, accessible. I've also added in some jumpers and run lines back to the GPIO header so that we now have interrupts. And my camera's just dropped offline. It doesn't matter, I'll turn that off anyway. And that gives us a little bit more that we can turn on and off. So I've got a jumper for the interrupt out from the 2 ADS, goes to one of the pins. The output from the 8-channel PCF 8574 now goes to an interrupt, and the MPR121 goes to another interrupt. So this is just going to make it a little bit easier with programming, and as much as the ADS 1115s have some features that I showed previously that can't be used because I didn't have an interrupt available. So if you solder the jumper short, it will send the interrupt output to the GPIO so we can read it. So I spent the past week or so modifying my schematic and modifying my circuit board. The PCB now, let me just drag that up, and my PCB now looks like this. And if I look at the other view of that, we can see the 3D render of it. So we have the new chip here, which is a little bit smaller. It doesn't require as many support components around it, which is handy. I may yet run an interrupt through. I'm still debating on that one and putting a jumper in. I've added up here JP9 and JP8 and JP9 are the 2 new jumpers for interrupts. So JP8 is for these 2 ADS chips. JP9 is for the MPR121, and I've added a JP10 over here for the PCF 8574. And you can see here I've now got a 3-layer or 3-stack header for some of the original stuff on it. On the other side of the board, I've also added information here on what a lot of the jumpers do, and I've got all of the components and their addresses here. And I've updated the list of patrons that I have on the system. So this is just about ready to go to manufacture. And when I get that board back, or those boards back, I will assemble some more boards. Apart from the update with the jumpers and what they are, and a minor update here in the list of addresses, there hasn't been much in the way of changes to this board. Only really this one has had all the changes on it. That will do for this short video. If you like these videos, don't forget to click on like, subscribe, and ring that notification button. It's a form of support that helps the channel a great deal and costs you absolutely nothing. If you'd like to help the channel further, I do have a Patreon account and I have YouTube membership. Currently, my supporters are my VIPs Go Lucky and Copernicus, my All Access patron Jeff Jerd, my Builder patrons Elmrels45, Andrew Cardone, Airgar69, Stephen Paps, James Kelly, and Guy Demary in helping to support the channel. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or drop into the Discord. There is a link below and you can ask a question there. If I can't answer it, someone else might be able to. And we'll see you in the next video.